thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
All right, people, this is the song I was telling you yesterday about. I think it was yesterday. How I want to know you more. This is a song called Hide Me in the Shelter. Good afternoon, people.
Of your wings, safe in the secret place of holiness.
How I need you more and more. More and more. Yeah.
Under the shadow of your wings.
So let's use this to get into a spirit of Bible study. How's that?
Oh Lord, my God and King. And here in the holiest of all, you draw me near with love to abandon all for the sake of knowing you, my God and King.
Here we go.
Hide me in the shelter of your love, deep in the center of your heart, my Lord. How I want to know you more, and keep me in the shadow of your wings, safe in the secret place of holiness. How I need you more and more and more and more.
Are you gonna go on? I keep pointing to you there he is. Mr. Handsome Self.
To your left.
To my left. Yeah, even though you're over there, really.
Yeah.
This is a song from 1994, you guys. It sounds like it too, doesn't it?
Hide me in the shelter of your love, deep in the center of your heart, my Lord. How I want to know you more.
Aww.
And keep me in the shadow of your wings, safe in the secret place of holiness. How I need you more and more and more and more. Hide me and keep me, oh Lord, safe in the secret.
Anybody remember this song? You guys remember this? Do you?
Safe
No?
in the secret place. Hide me and keep me,
Yep.
oh, when I want you, Lord, I want you, Lord, to keep me safe.
1994. Okay, Angie. So that explains it. This was a classic Vineyard song, by the way. And Randall and I attended Vineyard for a long time. Yep. Okay. She actually reviewed some of my songs that I wrote. It was kind of funny because I submitted these songs to the Vineyard leadership that I wrote. They told me that They were too much like a story. It's funny because the music then, you know, it was more like this, but then it actually ended up changing to become more stories, you know. Christian worship music has evolved quite a bit in the last, well, almost 40 years since I've been listening to it. And I still go back to the oldies, people. I really do, because I don't listen to Christian music. I mean, I do, but I don't. I don't listen to Christian worship music very much because I don't go to a church that's very hip on all the new stuff, you know. Not that I really care about the new stuff, but I used to go to I used to be of the attitude that when I went to church, it had to be what I liked. Like, I would go there because I like the worship. I would go there because I like the preaching. I would go there because I like the style. I like the vibe that I get. And yeah, I have to tell you, a lot of people do that. And over the years, God is just kind of like, you know what? Why do you go to church? To get? Or do you go to give? So I was like, oh, yes. You like hymns like Keith Green and Petra? I love Petra and Keith Green. I've actually interviewed John Schlitt numerous times. Most of the new stuff is from churches like Hillsong and Bethel. Yeah. And, you know, Hillsong's got a questionable pastor, Brian Houston. A little controversial, might add. You know, but anyway, whatever. So I go locally. I go to our local church now, and I don't really care. I go to serve, and I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care about the program. That's the, you know, and I don't know if that's because I'm old and kind of a curmudgeon. Yeah, I am. No, I'm not. I'm not that old. But you know who is old today? My friend, Dr. Jennifer Fee. I don't think she's tuned in. But yeah, Dr. Jennifer Fee, she is much older now. Yeah, she is than she was yesterday. Yeah, you can ask me something. Go for it. Ask me whatever you want. Doesn't mean I'm going to answer it. Or you'll like my answer. But, you know, whatever. I'm open. It doesn't matter. You're 58? Okay. Well, that's not old. It's older than me, though. But this audience is mostly older than me anyway. Just so you know. Yes, I'm waiting for your question before we get into the show. My friend doesn't like the song. Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. I didn't consult with your friend before I started my show. My bad. Anyway. All right. Well, you guys, I am going to share with you some news that Randall and I have for you. We are old. Yes, you are. Reckless Love. Yeah, I've heard of that song. I haven't listened to it, I don't think. So, oh, he thinks it's against God. Oh. Well, you know, a lot of today's worship music it has nothing to do with God, actually. It has everything to do with the believer and their feelings, or maybe kind of sort of if they're actually a believer. Okay. So, yeah. So, this is hard for me. Yeah.
Please stand by.
Are you going to get on the screen?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something for the audio-only audience.
Yeah,
unless
I hear
they're
you.
like, what the heck happened?
Well, they should know by now.
They
If they've
should.
listened, they've tuned into us long enough.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Is that an earthquake? Or...
In Tennessee? No, it's probably, road construction. Blowing stuff up close to us.
Probably.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not dying or anything. I'm just... Oprah. Gotta love her. She made the ugly cry popular. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well. Okay, are you there?
Who?
You. You're there. Okay.
Yeah.
You're looking so serious. Okay, gotta pull myself together here. I got royally attacked earlier on Facebook by one of my former guests, unstable listeners. So it's just kind of like, yeah, okay, well. So, you know, some people just can't take a joke. Anyway. Alright, you guys. I'm just going to spit it out. Randall and I are quitting Bible News Radio.
That's not true.
Well, it is. It is kind of true. We have come to a decision that we need to change what we're doing. And... so we're going to be cutting our show back to 3 days a week because we can't afford to keep doing it and we're not making any money, you guys. We have to get out and do local work locally. We have to get out and do it so that we can keep doing this. It's a hard decision for me because I've done this for 15 years. But you know what? We can't pay our bills. And you know, some of you give, most of you don't. And I can't pay my bills on well wishes. We put a request into Ariel today. Was hard to do because we're essentially asking them to continue sponsoring us at the level that that they have been for the last 3 years, and we're asking them if they'll continue doing that for us as we cut the show because you know, we're putting it out to them. I think that they will continue to sponsor us. I don't know. But what I do know is that we can't grow this audience without money. And we can't keep doing this and doing 3 other jobs at the same time and produce a show that is going to minister to people and, you know, not drain me. You guys have no idea. You think that, maybe some of you, I can't say that. This show isn't just an hour long to me. This is a 3 or 4 hour show. Because I take time to prep this show. I take time to put it out on social media. I put it up on podcast channels. It costs me money to put it on podcast channels as well as, you know, to run the show. And we don't get a paycheck from it. I mean, we run on under $1,000 a month for this. And the donations that come in through you, our audience, is under $300 usually a month. So I hate doing this. I hate it. I wish that I could make it a minimum of $5,000 a month with this show. And, you know, I have people continually tell me, we need your voice out there. We love what you do. You're great at what you do. But people are all talk. They don't put their money where their mouth is. And meanwhile, the false teachers out there are raking in the dough. And they're rampant on Periscope. But we just can't do it, you guys. We just can't do it anymore. And so what we're thinking is, if we're going to do a part-time job for part-time income, we need to do it part-time. Okay, because up until this point, it's been a full-time job for me. And part-time would look like us doing it on the weekend, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That will give us enough time to do other work outside of here. And it would also give us, it would still keep us on here, but we just won't be here as much to combat the unfruitful deeds of darkness, because we can't be. We can't be. And I'm not trying to be a downer or guilt anybody into anything. I'm really grateful for those of you who have donated to us and who really actually believe in us enough to donate a little money here and there. I really, I can't tell you how much it means to us, because it's so little, that it's so few the people that do that those of you who do, you have no idea. Like I tell you all the time, you have no idea. You have no idea. You have no idea how much it means to us. But we got to do something different. So that is my thinking. Randall can go ahead and continue. And I'm sorry I'm crying, but it's kind of like,
well,
there's a part of me, it's kind of like, this is my baby. I'm letting it go a little bit, Sorry.
That's loud, just so you know. Unless, for those of you who heard that this is dying on the vine, and we quit, and we're frustrated, and no, we're not. I'll wait until you're done.
Sorry.
Are you done?
I'm done.
All right. We're changing things up. It's not going away. Right now we're broadcasting at 4 p.m. Central. It's 5 p.m. Eastern. It's 2 p.m. Pacific, and it's a weekday. Most people are going to catch replay kind of thing because nobody's hanging out. But by switching to the weekends and the evening, that's a time that people are going to be home. If we do 7 Central, that's 5 p.m. On the West Coast. A lot of people getting home, or it's drive time. Mm-hmm. And so I honestly believe that we'll reach a bigger audience, even though we're reducing the number of days, going to the weekends, and switching the time up. That it's going to, we're going to have a bigger impact. That's what I think. Not that I think, I believe.
Yeah, but it's still a big cut.
It is.
It's still a big cut. I mean, it's still a big, huge cut. It's 4 days gone. That's a huge cut.
Think about what we used to. Remember when we were on the West Coast?
I do.
And we did our 5 p.m.? Mm-hmm. I mean, it was just audio at that point. There wasn't video live streaming around. So it was 5 p.m. on the Pacific Coast, 8 p.m., on the Atlantic Coast. And we had the audience was pretty big based on, things going on in the chat room, as well as people calling in when we had our 800 number. It was pretty hopping. So I think that's pretty much the habits of people. That hasn't changed, I don't believe. I mean, the devices that we use are different than they were then, but I think that and podcasts are kind of making a sort of a comeback, that kind of thing. So I'm pretty optimistic that going to here we shouldn't be even talking about this stuff on air, but
why not?
But yeah, I think.
What haven't we talked about on this show? I mean, we've talked about a lot of stuff on this show.
I think it's going to be a win-win. all around for everyone.
You think so?
I do.
Okay.
It's going to give us more time during the week.
I don't know how many of you guys are going to miss us, though, every day. I'm going to see, part of the reason I'm crying, oops, ooh, I got snot on my shirt. Anyway, is because, you know, I see you guys every day, you know, and it's not like I won't do social media every day. I'm still going to be sending out text messages and stuff, but it just isn't feasible with trying to network locally, to raise money with Legal Shield, to build my other business. You know, I have a heart desire to be a therapist, you guys. I spent 18 years of my life, you know, 13 of those getting my degree, and 5 doing all my hours. I love doing therapy. I love doing that, and I miss it. I miss coaching, and that's, you know, I need more time so that I can make money, so that we can do this for free, basically. Because for all this time, it's like it's hard. I mean, it's hard. And are we going to go up against false teachers, Melanie? Our goal isn't to you know, to go up against, oh yeah, we're going to go up all the false prophets on Periscope and every, you know, whatever. Our goal is to be there when we can be there. And, you know, I take care of my elderly dad, which you guys know, which is also a huge drain on me. You guys have no idea unless you've done it. You know, and he's declining. I mean, he's going to be 91 next month. I don't know how much time he has left. But it's hard. It's really hard. It's like, you know, we get up, we do some stuff for the business in the morning with the show here. Then I try to jump into another job area with Legal Shield. And then I go exercise, because if I don't, I will get I'll have a heart attack or something. I don't exercise, you know, and then we start prepping for this show, and then we do the show. And then after the show, we're updating the podcast, and, you know, and there's just all this stuff that, you know, goes along with doing a good show, you know, and we know, you know, we've been told time and time again that, you know, that, you know, our voice is needed, you know, we need you here, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Somebody want to take on all my bills for me? Because I can't pay them with what we make doing this. And so we're like, okay, Lord, look. And you know, here's the truth, too. The truth is, I've been feeling pulled away from this for a while on a daily basis. And I don't know if it's because of being overwhelmed with all the other stuff that we do, but it is my desire to provide a show that equips believers, you know what I mean? And it's you know, and yeah, I have to tell you too, people come on this show and they promote their ministries, they promote other ministries, you know, they post other ministry info in our Facebook group to raise money for other people's ministries under our umbrella. And I'm like, okay, people, hello. Let's raise money for our umbrella, because then it would be super cool if we could actually, you know, not worry about stuff. But anyway, so I have prayed about this, and we're going to see what God does. If God continues the provision with Ariel the way that we hope, then that will help us out a lot. If he doesn't, then we have just made the best step that we can to free up our time so that we can go out locally and work other jobs so that we can do this part-time and not worry about the money. I mean,
not putting you on the spot, Ariel Ministries. We love you.
Yeah, no, we do. But I just, you know, I just think that, you know, honestly, you guys, if you were in our shoes, I think you would feel the same thing. You know, I think you would. I think you would. So at least I hope you would, because
over on YouTube, WD comments, there's definitely a market. There definitely is a market in what you guys do. I'm optimistic for you. I'm a casual, relatively new listener. I first found you through podcasts and loved it.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I mean, we've been doing this for 15 years. It's not like we're new to the field, you know. And it has changed a lot in the last 15 years.
Video for the last
Four.
Oh my goodness, 4 years.
Going on
already.
4 years. It's going, and you know what? I just found some of our older video, and I was laughing when I was watching it. I was like, oh my gosh, back then people liked us. Now, I mean,
we just had an iPad in this room. That was video. Well, that was all Periscope allowed. It was just a mobile device. It was like another year after that before they introduced Producer, I think.
Okay, so if you just came in, Gina, which Gina did, we just announced that we're not going to be doing Bible News Radio every day anymore. Because financially we just can't do that anymore. So we are going to be doing it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so my prayer for you guys prayer request is that you would pray that Ariel would continue to sponsor us at the level that they have. We actually think that they will. I have a good feeling about it. And if they don't, that's all right. Those of you who donate to us, like I said, I'm telling you the truth when I say that we get about $300 a month in donations. Okay. And I feel frustrated with myself a little bit because, I do Legal Shield and I don't want this show to be all about Legal Shield, you guys. I just don't. I don't want it to be about Legal Shield. I talk a lot about Legal Shield because
it's a great product.
It's one way that we make
service.
money. But here's the truth. We can't pay our bills on $300 a month. We can't pay our bills on $1,000 a month. We need to actually go out there and figure out where we can make the money so that we can do this for free. Because we've been doing this for 4 years on Periscope. And, the social media platforms are spiking us. They're hiding us on purpose. So that's making it more difficult to reach a larger audience. Okay, so we're in a kind of a double bind. On the one hand, the platform won't let us be seen because we're biblical and we're Christian and conservative. On the other hand, we can't grow our audience unless we have some money to do that. And, Randall and I were, okay, I'll just tell you this. I have 46 people on my text message list right now. Those of you who get my daily text message. If all of you guys gave $20 a month, that would be $900 a month right there. That would triple what we currently make in donations. If everybody on my text message list just donated $20 a month. Now, I know some of you guys can donate more than that. I know some of you can't donate anything. But, Randall and I aren't like living in the lap of luxury as far as like we don't have cable. We don't, we really, we're thin. Okay. I mean, we're really thin on stuff. And a couple of you have been to our house. You know that. I mean, so it's, and so I'm not whining because of that. I don't mind that. But what I'm trying to tell you is we're not like, sponging off or whatever. So I'm just, we prayed about this. We prayed about what direction to go, and that's basically what we've come to the decision to do. So the question is, when will it begin? Next month is when it will begin. So, we are going to begin broadcasting in July and August. We asked Ariel for a 2-month trial period to see, if the numbers, remain the same or go up. And I think they will go up because I think it will be in the evening on the weekend, and all that. So that's kind of what we're hoping for, I know ministries. Jan Markell is an example. Jan Markell is a very popular female broadcaster. Many of you know who she is. She does 1 hour. She does a 2 hour. She does a show 1 day a week, 2 hours, and brings in over $1 million for that ministry. The difference between her and me is that she's got millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to put her show on Christian radio, and she gets donations too. So that is, that we've been doing a show 7 days a week, you guys, for $300 in donations. So you figure that out. Okay. Nobody in their right mind really should be doing that. So, we're still gonna do everything the way that we've been doing. We're just gonna be not doing a daily show anymore. because we got to make money to pay our bills, because we're not getting any younger, you guys. I'm in my 50s, so is Bareface, and we need to like build up some like income and get out of debt, so that we, when we're old enough to get into assisted living, we have a little bit of money to pay for it, Anyway.
Or when we're old enough to be put in some sort of government institution.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we've been doing this for a long time. For 15 years, we've been doing this show, and I love it. I love doing it. It's part of who I am. So, like I was telling Randall last night, I said, it's 15. It's like, this is a teenager. I'm like I'm letting go of my teenager a little bit, trying to like, no, you can't go. But anyway, so yeah. Anyway, so Bernie Sanders could help. Yeah, I don't think he would like to help us. But anyway, if you want to donate, our PayPal, BibleNewsRadio.com/give is on there. It's right there on our page. You can do that. And I just hope and pray that, God's will be done. I mean, that's all we can do, you guys. I plan on keeping, my social media updated and doing all the other stuff. But, I'm hoping that, that we can do what we do. So Sandy, hey, Sandy, are you still there? Sandy's still there. Sandy's my sister-in-law. Yep, just so you know. Okay, anyway. All right, so speaking of Ariel Ministries, and the fact that we've gone through half the hour of the show already, telling you our problems, Ariel Ministries sponsors our show. We're happy about that. And they have been doing it for quite some time, so we're really thankful for it. And if you guys have not considered Camp Shoshana, you might want to. I'd love to go to camp. In fact, they actually told us that they would be really happy if we could earn enough money someday to go to camp. It made me laugh when I read that. Anyway, so yeah, go to campshoshana.com, and then if you go to ariel.org, you guys can save 20% when you use the coupon code Bible News. And I have to say thank you for all you guys who've used that coupon code, because that's why Ariel's continued to sponsor us for 3+ years. It's been a blessing. We've had other sponsors sponsor us for a month or two, but Ariel gets it. They understand the mission. They understand that we're biblical. They understand, how advertising works, and so that's been good. It's been real helpful for us. So, okay, Legal Shield. Okay, here's the thing with Legal Shield. Right now, I am very close to becoming a senior manager with Legal Shield. Those of you guys who know what the product is, it's legal insurance, identity theft insurance. If you guys could buy it from me this month, that would rock, because we're so close. And this is month 12, which means my bonus is bigger, and that actually helps our show. So I was super excited about that. But you know what? I haven't sold anything this month. I have been prospecting like crazy. I probably talked to, and I'm not exaggerating, at least 15 people this month. Almost somebody every day. And I have a lot of people who are interested. They're looking at it. Some of them are having their financial advisors check it out, which I don't understand personally. That's a no-brainer to me, but whatever. Anyway, so if it's something you've been thinking about and you want to do it, then there's the link. You can go sign up through the website or get in touch with me, and I can tell you other stuff. Because like the new ID Shield Plus thing, I will tell you this. They just added ID Shield. They made it new, okay? I mean, there's still, those of you who are under the old plan is great, but the new plan, it's only $5 more, and you get a ton more. And I just literally before the show was updating mine because I signed up for it. So you get 3 credit bureau monitoring instead of 1 with that. You get your sex offender registry right there in your thing. And Randall and I, we were looking in our thing, and there's like 25 sex offenders right within 5 miles where we live, which is low, really. I mean, comparatively to California, it's nothing. But it's super cool because I live in a super small town for the most part, and now I know who all these scumbags are. I shouldn't say that, but they are.
No, you shouldn't.
They are. But anyway, I know who.
We'll get to that if we ever get to our Bible
we
study.
will. But anyway, just knowing who those people are, having that monitored now, and then there are I don't know, rapists, kind of people who abuse children. To me, are scumbags. Just saying. You can disagree if you'd like, but I still hold to the opinion that they're scumbags. Anyway, and that's being nice, actually. But anyway, there's a lot more that they monitor too. Your mother's maiden name and blah blah and all that stuff. And anyway, I'm doing a really good presentation right now. Anyway, the point is there's a lot more. And it's for $5 more a month. So if you haven't protected yourself with identity theft insurance yet, for the individual, for the new one, it's $15 a month. For the family, it's $30. And there's a $1 million insurance policy on it as well, which means that if you are hacked and your identify your what was I going to say? So going to say, if you're hacked and you have to have some type of expense to help get it rectified, Legal Shield will reimburse you for it. Jan has a great show, but it seems to have shifted to mostly cover topics of gloom and doom. Yeah. Well, yeah, and see, that's the thing. Oh, you guys aren't good. Yeah, see, that's the thing. We try to have a lighthearted show right now. I'm just not in that place. I'm not in that place to be joking around. But anyway, my PayPal is mindandmedia@gmail.com if you wanted to actually donate directly with the email. But it should work through my website. That's what I'm saying, if you just go there. But anyway, so yeah. Jan actually, by the way, those of you who don't know, Jan Markell actually used to sponsor our show too. Then she got upset because we charged her like $20 instead of something, and she pulled it because it wasn't enough. It was too much.
Well, actually, we aired her program
Broadcast.
on our network, and
Yeah.
Anyway, back in the day.
Well, because, yeah, BibleNewsRadio.com/give, and it won't take. Really? Okay. All right. Well, okay. Let me just type my email there. It's Mind and Media, MEDIA. Or why don't you put it on the screen?
I'm going to check out the...
Well, it could be because we were hacked. Well, that's the other thing. When I was just updating my ID Shield, I had 15 alerts that I was hacked in 3 different email accounts. So I just got done updating all the passwords on those. Okay. So that email right there is, if you put that in PayPal, if you send money to that in PayPal, that's us. Okay.
Yeah, it's working okay. When I at least I typed in Bible News Radio / BibleNewsRadio.com /give, and anyway, there it is.
There it is. Okay. All right, people. This is a hard show.
How hard is it?
Well, it's difficult. It's
All right.
okay. All right, so thank you for listening to us. I'm sure we'll be updating you later. We would appreciate your prayers, though, for that. And this is the step of faith, people. At least for me, it is. Bareface like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, okay. So you want to share your thoughts on it?
Well, I'd like to get the Bible study since we got 20 minutes left, and people look at the title, "Free to be Slaves."
Yeah. Okay. Well.
And like, what's going on? Is it okay if we?
Yeah.
I mean,
you're gonna miss this every day, right? Bareface, like, oh shush. Okay, fine. All right, we'll do the Bible study. My therapy session is over. That will
good.
be $5 million for
You're going to bill yourself
bill myself. All right,
for
First
your
Peter,
cathartic moment.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 11. Well, hey, you know what? You have not been doing the show as long as me, just so you know.
True.
So, hey, this is my baby. Just so you know, bud. Yeah, it is.
Right.
And, you know, people... I did this show before Randall. Believe it or not, I actually did the show without Randall.
Yep.
And then Randall had to come in and go ahead and make it all better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the
he
nerve of
did
me.
the... Yeah, anyway. Okay, all right. And thank you for donating, whoever is going to do that. I appreciate it. Okay.
All right. Want me to just take it from here?
Yep.
All right. Let's do that. All right. Apparently you're sitting a little more to the right than you usually are. There you go. I can either
I need to get a haircut.
adjust.
It's so big, my hair is. And you know what? I don't even look like I have makeup on, but I do.
Anyway, we've been in First Peter for chapter 2 for a long time. And last week, we talked about how these wandering Jews, believing Jews, having been...
Wait. I'm sorry. I just gotta say one other thing. Okay?
Just one.
Just one other thing. I believe that our voice is needed. Okay, you guys? I was just asked, and some of you probably didn't hear this when I announced it before. I was asked to go to Washington, D.C. next week to speak in front of the Supreme Court building on the 4th anniversary of the gay marriage ruling in our country. Okay? I would love to do that. I would love it. And I was asked because Peter LaBarbera from Americans for Truth About Homosexuality, he knows my stance. He knows I'm biblical. He knows I've been outspoken on this issue. We actually have, I have a series called The Marketing of Homosexuality to America, okay, on YouTube that we did. And it's in Periscope archive somewhere, okay. Here's the thing. The reason I'm not is because of money. So that's the thing, When I say be bold, stand up, and go with God, I actually mean it. And God's called me various other places I haven't gone. When we go to Oklahoma in the fall, that was, some of you funded some of that, which was great. But there are other opportunities I've had to shut down. So, just keep that in mind. Okay, I'm done.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, last week we talked about how these wandering, believing Jews that Peter is addressing, and he makes that clear in chapter 1, verse 1, the audience of this epistle, how the encouragement here is as they're away from their homeland and traveling amongst the Gentiles and these Gentile nations, being strangers in a strange land, that their conduct was very important. Their personal conduct in terms of their moral conduct, because already people are looking for ways to accuse them. And do you want to be off screen, or
Not really.
you don't want to be off screen? You
No.
don't want to be off screen?
Yeah, you can put me off screen if you want.
Do you want to be?
I'm not going to be talking, so yeah, you can take me off.
All right.
Just so you know. If you want. Bye, everybody. See? Less of me already.
All right. So, move myself over a little bit.
Yeah, Active Christian Media is the actual name of my company. I'm done.
Okay.
I was just answering a question.
All right.
Okay.
I just wanted to put a face with a voice. So. Anyway. So now Peter is going to not only their personal, their moral conduct amongst Gentiles that, unbelieving Gentiles that are already looking for cause to accuse them, to watch their behavior. But now he talks about beyond moral conduct, personal conduct, the way they relate to governmental institutions as part of their witness. And while this is directed to these Jewish believers, I believe there's definitely application to us as well as believers in Yeshua, Messiah. So as we jump into this here, see how far we get in 15 minutes. Let's do this prayerfully.
Well, you could go later if you want.
Good.
It's up to you.
All right. Well, all right. Father God, we thank you for your goodness, your grace, your mercy, this platform that we have. Every day that you give is one of your many good and perfect gifts that we want to be better stewards of. And more than our lives, more than this day, longer lasting is your word, which endures forever. And with that in mind, we want to approach your word reverently, respectfully, and expectantly to what we might receive from these verses, Lord, that are living and active and able to discern the thoughts and intents of the heart. We offer ourselves to you, and this time to use as you will. It's yours. We ask in the name of Yeshua, our Messiah. All right, so verse 13, 1 Peter chapter 2, we read, "Submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every human institution, whether to a king as the one in authority, or to governors as sent by him for the punishment of evildoers and the praise of those who do right. For such is the will of God, that by doing right you may silence the ignorance of foolish men. Act as free men, and do not use your freedom as a covering for evil, but use it as bondslaves of God. Honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the king." So, in addition to, how you behave towards individuals, be careful how you behave towards government institutions, every human institution, whether it be the king, governors, whoever it is, who are sent by the governor for, punishment of evildoers and the praise of those who do right. Granted, secular institutions don't always have, biblical principles in mind, but indeed they do mostly around the world, whether it be the United States or elsewhere. They usually frown on things like murder and theft and, things like that, which are, moral issues. And so, in addition to abstaining from personal vices, it's important that they and we also, in this day, I believe, live in compliance with government authorities, as long as doing so doesn't transgress the law of God. Preaching the gospel is not a license for trespassing. It's like, well, I can trespass because the gospel trumps that, that I can, normally this is against the law, but if I'm, preaching the gospel, it's okay. Well, no, it's not. I remember many years ago, another believer telling me about a witnessing method this group had of going into bookstores and inserting tracts in all the books on the shelves. And it's like, well, I appreciate your zeal, but those books are not your property. That bookstore is not your business. And they caught flack for it, and when they're discovered and asked to leave. Well, of course, because they had no invitation to. Do
you want to take questions that are coming in?
Sure.
You don't have to put me on.
Okay, well, if you're going to read the questions, I don't like the disembodied voice, so.
Okay. Okay, so Bob says, do our government behave in a moral... I think he means, does our government behave in a moral manner? Gina said, honor authority and respect all people. And Bob says, what if authority is not behaving in a moral manner? Well, no government does.
Right.
You can't show me one government in the world that has completely moral.
Yeah, we might, they're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be, it's not an all or nothing thing. Mm-hmm. We may object to some use of public funds, supporting Planned Parenthood and stuff like that, or maybe underwriting part of a pride parade, but that doesn't justify wholesale tax evasion. Well, some of my taxes go to things I don't like, so I'm gonna stop paying taxes altogether.
Right.
Just like the witnessing thing. Well, I'm on the other side, instead of not doing something. Well, trespassing laws don't apply because I'm preaching the gospel. Well, no, it doesn't. As long as obeying the laws doesn't transgress the law of God, I think we're called to do that, to submit ourselves to every human, institution. What? For the Lord's sake, the verse starts out. For the Lord's sake, for your witness, not for the sake of being a citizen, who walks lockstep with, government ideals and, doesn't make waves and stuff like that. There are times to speak up. Look at Acts chapter 4, where the local authorities, the Sanhedrin, told Peter and John, you're not to preach anymore in this name.
You can take me off the camera now.
Okay. All right. And, and their response was, whether we should listen to you or listen to God, you judge, but, we can't help but, speak of the things we've seen and heard. We're going to keep, you say don't preach in that, we're going to preach in that name. So if the government wholesale says you can't do this, then, well, yeah, we must obey God rather than men. But again, at the same time, be as Paul writes to the Romans, as far as possible, you be at peace with all men. And I think that includes government institutions. And in fact, this Peter is writing here, submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every human institution. That, we're not going to agree with everything. They're not going to be perfect in every way. But for the purpose of witnessing, lest we be seen as rebels and, that sort of thing, and untrustworthy, criminals and scoundrels, then we need to do that. So act as free men, because we are. We are citizens of heaven, primarily, citizens of the kingdom of God, but that's, Paul says all things are lawful, but not all things are profitable. It doesn't give us a license, use freedom. Well, it's not to be used as a covering for evil. Again, the trespassing thing. Well, because I'm doing the work of God, I don't have to obey these. I don't have to obey these government laws, whatever. So James says whatever is not from faith is sin. So, it's between you and God, but, if the Holy Spirit doesn't bear witness to what you're doing is on the up and up, legit, then pay attention to that. So don't use your evil as a covering for sin, or a covering for evil, but use it as bond slaves of God, being, okay, we're free as, as citizens of the kingdom of heaven, but we're also, not of this world, but, we're free to be bond slaves of God, doulos in the Greek. And that's equated to the Hebrew idea. If you've been in indentured servant, and you serve someone for a while, and then the year of Jubilee comes, and you're free to go, but you say, you know what, I like working here, and I like my master, or love my master, I think it actually says, well, it's in Hebrew, but English translation, I'm going to continue to serve here, and then you'd go to the post, whatever, and have your ear pierced, saying that you're going to willfully continue to serve. that master, and that's the idea of doulos in the Greek as well. The Greek word to reflect that idea that a bond slave, a doulos, that it's a intentional, willful servitude. Serve a master. So verse 17, honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the king. And I want to speak to that a little bit, that, because Peter is saying, watch your personal behavior, your moral conduct. Now watch, your conduct. Submit yourselves to human institutions. First it's, kind of self-control, then human institutions. But he sums this up saying, honor all men. And usually in Scripture, all is all that all means. Right? It means all. So that tells me that there's no one that should be dishonored. We certainly don't have to approve and shouldn't approve of everyone's actions, but we should never disparage another human being that's made in the similitude of God, as James says. James chapter 3, verses 9 and 10. Therewith we bless God, even the Father, talking about the tongue, and therewith we curse men, which are made after the similitude of God, or, in the likeness of God. Out of the same mouth proceed blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not to be so. Every human being has intrinsic worth, made in the image of God. We don't have to certainly, approve or agree with everything they do, everything they say. There's some, we talked about the sex offenders earlier. They've, got a rap sheet. Doesn't mean we trust them around, children and stuff like that. But we don't make them subhuman. We don't lessen their intrinsic human worth.
So when Jesus called people, you brood of vipers, did that lessen their intrinsic worth? Just curious.
I think it was John that called them brood of vipers, okay. but Jesus did call them whitewashed tombs.
Okay, so did that...
He says you're like whitewashed tombs, on that side.
So if Jesus can say that, then I can say that these people, and the Lord actually killed these people too, by the way. He killed complainers, just so you know.
True.
So what's worse, killing people or calling them a scumbag? Just saying. I understand your point.
For me, I wouldn't label someone as a scumbag.
I
would label them as, I would say they've done some scummy things.
You are a diplomat. I am not.
Guilty as charged. I don't know. I just see, God is in the business of taking a wretch like me.
Yes, it's true. You're a wretch.
And turning it into something for His glory.
Right. Okay. So, well, there's some comments here. Let's see. Let's scroll back up here. Annie came in. Hi, Annie.
Hi.
Let's see. Love the brotherhood. That's interesting. I just heard a Christian pastor rip into Alex Jones. Well, Alex Jones, I like Alex, honestly. I don't actually find anything wrong with him. He knows how to do good broadcasting, radio, everything he says, he backs it up.
He's not a diplomat.
He's not a diplomat. But hey, do you seriously think you can get a big audience being a diplomat?
No.
No.
Well, it depends.
Well, anyway.
Depends on the audience.
But yeah, Christian pastors, they are not perfect. Does all include the gays? Good question.
Yeah, not... don't have to honor what they do with their actions, their behaviors, but not disparage the intrinsic human worth of the individual.
Here's what I think.
Even though they're defiling themselves. Tell me this.
I think there's a lot of loudmouths out there, people who are, big blabbers, who hide behind anonymity on a computer, and they're too stupid to know that they can still be tracked and found out.
Yeah.
But I see people like that who attack people like like that, or me. I get attacked. You guys, I mean, seriously, you would not believe some of the stuff that I've gotten called or got sent to me. And I'm just like, okay, yeah. So that says a lot about you, but where are you? Are you actually doing anything enough to get attacked? Just saying. Because if you're not, then just saying you need to be quiet. Anyway. Bob says, I'm okay with killing people if they deserve it. Mama Gina says it's not against the law to call a scumbag a scumbag.
No, it's not.
And then Sean says to Bob, self-defense or just war. Yeah, well, we could talk about that whole issue.
That's the whole...
It's a shame we shoot our own. Well, yeah, of course, that's the way it's done. And thank you for telling me you like my blouse, Annie. Annie's my cheerleader. I love Annie. She compliments my hair and my clothes, and she loves me. She sends me cute little notes and stuff. Godjet, but Randall, I'm enjoying your teaching and appreciate your diplomacy. Thumbs up. Well, this is coming from my sister-in-law, whose mother was the ultimate diplomat and taught her to be a total diplomat. Yeah. My mother, Sandy, however, you may recall, was anything but. God has totally sanctified me, though, as her daughter. I am more of a diplomat than I used to be.
I mean, let's consider the words of our Lord himself. Matthew chapter 5, verse 44. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
Yeah. Yes, you are definitely blessed in the parental units. How my brother married your sister, I have no idea. But he is a better man because of it.
Thumbs up to that.
He is. He has. Wendy has made him a better man. Just Indeed. Saying, he really is. So it's a good thing.
No debate there.
I'm attacked by liberals and conservatives, but that's okay.
Oh.
Well, whatever. I mean, this is our civil society. No, it's not.
Not anymore.
See, people mistake. Okay, I'll say this. I think some people mistake somebody having an opinion with a personal attack on them.
Yeah, and that happens way too often.
I'll give you a perfect example. Cheryl Chumley earlier today, she wrote your brother married Randall's sister. No, my brother married my friend Sandy's sister that we went to church with, and we've known him since high school. But anyway, my brother is also... No, your brother's also... No, my brother isn't my brother-in-law. My brother is my brother. Where is it? I want to read it if I can find it. Yes, I know we're going over. No, that's not it. Okay. Yeah, so... Cheryl Chumley, who you guys know has been on our show. I had her on a couple times. She wrote an article titled, Trump's Personal Pastor, Paula White, Hits at a Demonic Networks, Goes Bold in the Name of Jesus. I read her article. I liked it. I didn't have a problem with anything she actually said in the article. I personally would not support Paula White. I wouldn't call her a biblical pastor. I think she's a prosperity gospel person, okay? But, a whole bunch of people are such, enamored with the Trumpians, as a Trump, oh, I'm a Trumpian. I just made that up. That if you say anything that even remotely seems like you hate Donald Trump, then they're going to pounce all over you. Well, I made a comment on Cheryl's thing. I'm trying to find it. And let's see. Yeah. So here's what I wrote. And you guys know me. Okay, you know me because you watch me. I wrote, I'm not so sure Trump or White, as in Paula White, serve the same Jesus I do. Okay, that's a true story too. I believe that. When his administration openly states their goal is to decriminalize homosexuality all over the world, I find that abhorrent considering God says that's an abomination. So I have a problem.
Them's fighting words.
Well, yeah, but the attacks, oh my gosh, you would have thought that I had, said something horrible. I understand that Donald Trump is trying to end Sharia. Okay, I get that, but it's not our business. It's not America's business to go and regulate morality all across the world. In fact, we've done exactly the opposite. And to spread homosexuality even more is absolutely ridiculous. I just think that it's crazy. But anyway, so I've had some people attack me. And Cheryl came to my defense. She actually ended up blocking some crazy woman who totally, do that. But so I thanked Cheryl, and I said, apparently some of these people don't know who I am, which, I didn't say that in a boastful way, like, hey, look at me, I'm so great, I'm like this internet superstar, because I'm not, I know that, but they don't know who I am, what I've done, how I've taken it on the chops, and, all this stuff.
Your character and the things you stand for, your convictions, etc.
So then Cheryl, this woman, she's Cheryl Howell, another woman, Cheryl Chumley went in and deleted this woman Eva's comments, who was clearly unstable. But so Cheryl Howell says, and since you deleted the reprehensible and egotistical comments made by your pal, I actually made no comments except the one that I said. Anyway, she said, nobody will understand why I disagree with you. A most disturbing interchange with your supposed religious and self-important radio host. Truly vile and pathetic. She was vile and you were pathetic for deleting her vile comments. I made no comment. All I said to the other woman was, because she pointed out I spelled there wrong. I instead of using THEY apostrophe RE, I put it wrong, okay? I mean, God forgive, so it's just like so horrible. So I actually told her, I said, you and my husband would have something in common by correcting my grammatical errors. And then the only snarky thing I said was, I hope your period ends soon. That's all I said. I hope your period ends soon. And then this Eva woman just flipped out and just started saying all this really nasty stuff. She attacked Bible News Radio. She attacked me as a person. She attacked my looks, my intelligence. And then the Cheryl person came in and started attacking me even more. And all that. So, and I didn't ask Cheryl Chumley to delete this other woman's comments. She actually did it on her own and told me she did. She's like, I can't believe this person. But anyway, not that has anything to do with anything, but it kind of does. Yeah. Anyway. So it is what it is. So that's why I try not to get in debates with foolish people. And yeah, they were attacking me just because I had an opinion. I wasn't attacking anybody. Oh, and the Cheryl person said I probably don't serve the same Jesus because I'm probably not really a Christian. Okay, well, when we get to heaven and Jesus is going looking at me and my treasures compared to hers, we'll just see who has more. Okay, just saying. I have received death threats, numerous death threats, actually. Our house was threatened, too, in California when we were, standing against Prop 8. Anyway, so.
So, now it's 8 minutes.
Yeah, and I'll just say, it took everything in me to not respond to this crazy woman, too, just so you know. And she is crazy, and I mean that in a literal crazy way, because I can diagnose people.
Well, can we just finish verse 17 anyway?
Yes, we can, bareface. Because we know that's what you want to do, so go for it.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Good.
So, verse 17, honor all men, we talked about that, but love the brotherhood. Now, this was kind of eye-opening to me, and I'll take you off if you'd like.
That'd be good.
All right.
Poof, I'm gone.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am.
Kind of eye-opening to me because it says love the brotherhood. It's not love the brothers. The particular particular noun there, I'm trying to think what it is in the Greek. But anyway, it's actually talking about the fraternity itself. The brotherhood. It's not loving the individuals, but love the brotherhood. Not just the individuals, but the entire body of Messiah, the actual fellowship of believers, to love that. And of course, it made me think of Psalm 133, behold how good and how pleasant it is for the brothers to dwell together in unity. And of course, Hebrews chapter 10, 24, 25 tells us about the importance of that fellowship. When it tells us, consider Let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. And so, it doesn't say not forsaking individuals, it's forsaking the assembling of ourselves together. So it's an admonition to love that. We can we be, individual believers and, on our own? Yes, we can, but it's not as easy as having fellowship and that encouragement. And so I suspect for these believing Jews, strangers in a strange land, away from their homeland, it was easy to be kind of sequestered and cloistered. But especially since they'd been disfellowshipped from the synagogue, the synagogues would be in these places because they were, followers of the way and considered to be, part of a cult from rabbinical Judaism. I almost said Orthodox Judaism, but they were being true Jew. But those steeped in rabbinical Judaism, they were the ones going astray. And so it would have been easy for them to be out of fellowship. So the admonition to them is love the brotherhood. Honor all men, love the brotherhood. So that's something for us, I think, to think about. Especially for those of us who may travel a lot and, don't have a home, home church or fellowship congregation we're part of, near one, to seek out fellowship with other believers and love it, make it a priority. And so it's honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear God. We talked about that. At least I talked about that when we were looking at chapter 1, and just how the fear of God is missing from society today in a big part. And we're not just talking about, just a special reverence. We're actually talking about a fear. Yeshua said, don't fear them that can kill the body and do nothing more. Fear him who you can cast, body and soul into hell. There needs to be like a yes sir kind of fear of God. And I was going to say countless, but you can probably count them. But there's probably at least a dozen places in Scripture that tells us that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, or the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, etc. Just picking one, Psalm 111 verse 10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endures forever. But Psalms talks about, contrast the wise person and the fool, and says that wisdom begins with the fear of the Lord. So, won't say much more about that, but how about nothing more about that? And honor the king, of course. And so, didn't he just talk about that when submitting yourself to every human institution? No, that was submitting yourselves to every human institution. Just like honoring all men, that includes honoring the king. And that kind of comes into the Trump discussion. Whether it be a saint or a scoundrel that's sitting on the throne or in the White House or wherever, Parliament or whatever, your particular governmental structure is, the governor's mansion. A governmental position should receive our respect, so as not to undermine the principle of leadership, the principle of sound government. If we exhibit a disregard or disdain for institutions of government, then, like was hinting at earlier, would be seen as anarchists or rebels. And this was especially important for the sojourning believing Jews, because they were already seen as outsiders, and just Jews in general had been exiled from various places, and then the believing Jews, those who believed in Messiah, were even exiled from their Jewish kinsmen. And so they were already seen as outsiders and rebels, and And so if they go around speaking poorly of, well, the Roman government sucks or this, and it's all then it's it just seals the deal. It just goes on to oh yeah, they are really anarchists and rebels and people to be distrusted. So I think the encouragement is, the exhortation is, regardless of who the person is, the character of them. And here in the U.S., there's a new president every 4 or maximum 8 years, so, suck it up, Buttercup. It may not be the best individual, whatever, but the fact, at least here in the States, that we have a peaceful transition of power, with every election. Well, elections are rigged, but whatever, Paul told Timothy to first of all pray for kings and governors and all those in authority. Why? That we might lead a quiet and peaceable life. And so if we are dishonoring positions of government, which goes beyond submitting ourselves to human institutions, but if we're dishonoring a government position, then I think that hurts our witness to others and our own fellowship with God, because then we're just feeding on bitterness and distrust and that kind of thing. And not recognizing that it's God who sets up, kings, takes them down, sets up nations and brings them down, etc. It's like, well, Lord, for this time, for whatever reason you're allowing this to be, and I will honor that. All right, we're done for 17. We'll have to come back to verse 18 next week, I guess.
Well, until the end of June, we're going to be doing this every day, but then in July, this is going to be different.
Yeah, it will.
It'll be interesting. Some of you are going to be happy that we're not going to be here as much.
Yeah, but I'm hoping we can finish out the chapter next week.
Which is why you should get on my text message list. If you haven't gotten on that yet, go to text Bible News to 33222. Put your phone number in there. I'll text you back. Put your name in there, and then you'll keep up. We'll keep you up to date. And I'll still be doing my Instagram stories and stuff like that. So we'll see. I don't think that we've heard anything yet from Ariel, so I don't know. I can look. Let's see here. Wow, my phone's hot. Let's see here.
Probably because you're running the Periscope app.
Yep.
That'll burn up a phone.
Seriously? Okay, it looks like this app decided to... It's like okay, well, I'm going to have to log in and look. Yeah, I'm going to keep that shut, though. It's hot. Well, let me look. Here, I'll go ahead and see if they responded yet. I gotta check my password because I just changed it. Okay. Nope. Not yet. I don't think. Nope, I don't see anything. So, okay. All right, people. Thank you for listening to me cry and tell you everything, and then endure Randall for a while. Mm-hmm. Just kidding about that part. Didn't he do a good job? Should we just applaud him? He's really born to do this, Yeah, he is. All right, so tomorrow we'll be back. I did have an interview scheduled, but I actually canceled it. So we are going to be looking at some news, probably. So we'll see you tomorrow. Remember, be bold, people. Stand up and go with God, because he loves you. Yeah, he does.